everyone. I'm Holly Ferguson, and I'm the class secretary, and welcome to the 2023 8th grade class graduation. Thanks for coming and supporting our class. Please silence your phones, but feel free to take pictures anytime during the event.
Please bow your heads for prayer. Dear Jesus, thank you for being with us today as we celebrate our graduation. Thank you for all the amazing teachers who have gotten us to this far. Please give us wisdom as we make the transition into high school, more wisdom than we had on that fateful day that we attempted to ride Mr. D's cooler. We also pray for wisdom, energy, and patience for our teachers. Please help Mr. D not to bet something as important as his hair on the 49ers next year. Thank you for protecting our class through COVID and helping us navigate online school with Mrs. J and Miss Sandy's virtual classroom. Thank you that Mr. R was willing to help us with one more egg drop. Thank you that Mr. Lang taught us how to make delicious homemade ice cream in food science. Thank you, Ms. Ferguson, planned such a spectacular Washington, D.C. trip. Thank you for giving us a chance to connect with people here at the food bank and globally with our Crystal student, Tunga. Please give her success as she enters high school in Uganda. Thank you for giving us such great elementary school experiments. Please be with us as we begin this new chapter in our lives. In Jesus' name, amen.
Good evening, teachers, parents, family, and my graduating class. My name is Ivy Rasmussen, and when I was 3 years old, I started going to Sacramento Adventist Academy for preschool. And now, at the age of 14, I am so excited to be graduating and heading off to high school with my amazing friends. Some of us have been together since the beginning, while others have just joined this year, but we're not a group of strangers. We are a group of powerful teenagers ready to take on our next challenge. I've enjoyed serving as president this year because I love this class. Others have said we can be a bit much, or that we're scary, or we're too loud, and I admit we can be all those things at times, but my class is full of smart, talented, and funny people. We all get along, most of the time. My favorite thing about this class is that we are up for anything, and we will have fun. This year, we enjoyed our DNA science competition in science class, beating the 7th graders in prison ball, and coming together to perform Mary Poppins. We won many sports events and had incredible Vespers, and of course, who could forget the wonderful craziness of meeting a cast member from Les Mis. We know we have shared such wonderful experiences with the help of so many. I would first like to thank and honor God, who has blessed us in so many ways. He has put important people in our lives to guide us. He has given us parents who support us and send us to this school. And he has given us really great middle school teachers. They care about us and make learning fun. They plan amazing events and are always there to help us. Thank you, Miss Ferguson, Mr. Lane, Mr. D, and Mrs. Lane. Each of you have played an important role in my life and the lives of my classmates. Miss Ferguson, thank you for being our sponsor and planning the amazing trip to DC. It was a great experience and a lot of hard work, and we are thankful. Mr. Lane, thank you for being our other sponsor this year. Your patience with our class is amazing, and we are blessed by you. Thank you for being creative in our science class and helping us learn. Mr. D, thank you for making everything more fun and always pushing us to be our best selves. You believed in us before we ever did. Mrs. Lane, although we do not see you as much this year in our classes, you have helped make our middle school years memorable. You have planned so many fun events and experiences for us. Thank you all for helping us be our best. There are other teachers who are not just in middle school, which I would like to also thank. Miss Nina, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Harrington, and Mrs. Duckett. You each have helped in different subjects, and I thank you for taking the time to help us grow. Mrs. J and Mr. R, I also want to thank both of you for all the work you put into our class before and during the pandemic. I'm sure it wasn't easy, but we are a better group because of all the effort you put into us. And for those teachers who started us off on the right track, thank you. Miss Sherry, Mr. Mike, Mrs. Wankus, Mrs. Jackson, Mrs. Harrington, Mr. Duckett, and Mrs. Sandman. You all have helped us set up for success and made sure we weren't complete hooligans. Friends, thank you for being you. We have a great class full of so many personalities. Brandon, Anne, Josh, and Stefan, you keep us entertained and bring us joy. Roan, Braden, Garrett, and Ratu, you help us to remember to be more easygoing and chill. Kian, Caleb, Emma, Adam, Holly, Kyla, and Jack, you are our motivators. You have a love for competition, whether academic or athletic. You keep this class fired up. Kayla, Eva, Layla, Gabby, and Jasmine, you are each so creative, the artists of our class. Alberto, Timmy, Faye, Micah, and Billy, you are strategizers, ready to conquer your opponents. Kaylana, Marcia, and Viola, you are each eager to support and help others. As we look forward to high school, my talented class is ready for the next step. We have much to offer. We are musicians, athletes, comedians, and gamers. We are readers, mathematicians. We are smart, creative, and strong. For our aim, we said we must be the change we wish to see in the world. With God's help, we can do this. Right now, we are the class of 2023, but soon we will be the class of 2027. We need to remember that God has plans for us, and if we follow Him, we will be successful and have hope and a future. It may not be easy, and there are plenty of things that will try to slow us down. But when we fail, we must remember that failure is not fatal, and we must have the courage to continue. Thank you, classmates, for letting me serve as this president. I am proud of our class and know that if we can continue to put God first, we can be successful in where He leads us.
It is now time for the family tribute. Parents, please stand while your students' pictures are on the screen. Please remain quiet during the presentation so all tributes can be heard clearly.
Dear Mom, thank you for always dropping what you have to do to take me to the store or taking me out on a special event, like Hamilton, or simply going and getting our nails done. Even though your jokes are bad, you're still funnier than Dad. You always make time for me anytime I'm sad or simply just need to talk. You taught me how to work hard and prioritize others. Thank you so much for always taking care of me. Love you. Dear Dad, thank you for always being invested in any sport I play, whether you are teaching me how to set a volleyball or how to throw a football. You always come up with the best surprises, whether that is getting a basketball hoop, trampoline, or taking us on trips around the world. You somehow always make me laugh when I'm in a bad mood, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you. Love you. Dear Inta, thank you for always having my back. Even though you sometimes get me in trouble, you most often take the blame. Thank you for always letting me convince you that we should get McDonald's anytime you take me home. I couldn't have asked for a better sister. You know all the right things to do after I get in trouble with Mom and Dad. Anytime I'm lonely or bored, you will play with me.
and I love our weird and altogether interesting discussions we have at 2 in the morning. I know I can always depend on you. I love you so much. Thank you. Dear Nana and Papa, thank you for always letting me come over anytime. I can't thank you enough for putting up with all my smack talk when it comes to board games, even though we all know I will always win. Love you guys. Thank you.
Dear family, thank you for supporting me in whatever I do and always loving me no matter what. Mom, thank you for watching sports with me and supporting my team most of the time, even though you may not want to, for watching different shows that you may not be interested in, but you still do it, and for always making sure I know you love me. Dad, thank you for taking me to NBA games and playing basketball with me even when you don't feel like it, for teaching me guitar and making sure I'm on track with all my instruments, and for always making me laugh, no matter the circumstance. Tamara, yes, I didn't forget about you. Thank you for always having a competitive spirit, even though you lose a lot, for all the good times at Redwood, and for teaching me how to wakeboard. Also, I just want to mention my dog Axel. I know you will never know I said this, but thank you for always wanting to play and making sure I'm not bored. I just want you all to know that I love you all so much and I'm so appreciative of all of you. Love you guys.
Dear Mother, thank you for taking me seriously when I talk about what I want to do with my life and helping me reach those faraway goals. You make them seem so much more reachable. Dad, thank you for making bad jokes and usually good food. Thank you for letting me walk home most days, because otherwise I would have had to stay at school so much longer. And Liesel, thank you for letting me read to you and experiment with different voices for each character. Dylan, thank you for helping me bother Liesel all the time and reaching things that I can't reach. That's important too. Lady, thank you for always giving us mints and taking us to movies and taking us out to eat. And just so you know, I never actually wanted your room. You can live with us for as long as you want. And Ray, even though you're not here, I needed to tell you, you're my favorite sibling, even if you are a dog.
Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for raising me to love God and teaching me about Him all of my life and for pushing me in school to be the best I can be. Dear Mom, thank you for always spending time with me even when you were tired or busy, getting me Starbucks and Dutch Bros, getting our nails done together, or getting pretzels for EJ and I at the mall when we go shopping. And thank you for making your delicious salmon and rice on Saturdays after church. And thank you for always being there for me. Dear Dad, thank you for cooking the best food ever, like your mac and cheese and your chicken stew. Thank you for helping me with my essays, even if you were busy with work. And thank you for taking EJ and I on small trips and big trips, like traveling to Europe last summer. I hope we continue to create great memories together. EJ, thank you for being the annoying older brother that always buys me food, drives me around to different places when you visit from college, and watching Ninjago with me. And thank you for just being in my life, even though you do get on my nerves sometimes, or maybe all the time. Tia Susie, thank you for loving me, always sharing your stuff with me, cooking delicious food for me, and giving me money when I get good grades. Theo Anho, thank you for giving me fist bumps every time I come home and making me laugh and smile. To any other family, thank you for loving me and supporting me throughout my life and making fun memories with me. And I love visiting you guys in California, Texas, and Costa Rica.
Dear Mom, Dad, Trevor, and Hugo, thank you so much for being such an amazing family. You have all given me the best childhood that I could have asked for. Mom, ever since I was little, you have gone above and beyond to make sure that I'm getting the most out of any experience. From painstakingly making custom cakes for extravagant birthdays, writing songs for just about every occasion, and hosting huge parties. You also have the best work ethic out of anyone I know, which is great inspiration to follow. Dad, my whole life you have been teaching me new things, even if it took a lot of patience. Skiing, motorcycle riding, and an assortment of things behind a boat are some of my favorite things to do, and they all wouldn't have been possible without you. You have also planned many trips for our family all around the world, where I've made memories that are going to last a lifetime. Trevor, you all have always been someone who I could look up to. You're constantly teaching me new things and are always there to make me laugh. Thanks for being such a great older brother. You guys have all been really good examples for me and just such a great family. Thank you.
Dear family, thanks for being there while I go through life. I know I'm frustrating to deal with, but I'm glad I have people giving me undying love and support. Thanks for always encouraging me to live my life to the fullest. Mom, thanks for being there to help when I mess up. Thanks for not letting me settle for good enough because you know I'm able to do so much more than I think I'm capable of. I love that you have late night chats with me even though we're both exhausted from our day because you want to be more involved in my life. Thanks for giving me advice and always being prepared. Dad, thanks for being the main reason I leave the house that isn't school related. I might complain a lot about our road trips, but I really do enjoy them. I appreciate you for encouraging me and helping out in my hobbies and interests. Thanks for letting me pester you with the things I find cool or interesting even if you're busy. I'm glad you can pause from what you're doing just to go, wow, that's great, Ate. Jace, thanks for being someone I can annoy with things I find funny. Thank you for being interested in the same things as I am, so I have someone to talk about them with. I'm very lucky to have a brother like you. I owe you for waking me up when I sleep past my alarm clock and I'm almost late for school. Thanks for keeping me humble. Even though I call you annoying sometimes, I really don't know what I'd do without you. Mama and Lolo, thanks for coming here from the Philippines to take care of us. I really appreciate the extra bit of love you added to our home. Thanks for helping Jace with his homework so I don't lose my mind trying to explain how graphs work. I don't remember third grade being this complicated. Mama, thanks for cooking my favorite foods. I look forward to it after school. Lolo, thanks for keeping my mind active with questions and stories. I enjoy listening to them. I appreciate all of you for being such a big part of my life. I love you. Mahal kita.
You may all know me as Roan, but there's so much more to know about me. My family. Mom, thank you for supporting me in all my actions, even if some of them were bad. It really means a lot. And also, thank you for taking me to Alaska and Mexico every year. Dad, thank you for taking me on all these trips to bizarre places, like Arizona and even North Dakota, and for playing video games with me. Thank you both for sharing your love with me. Rich and Amy, even though you guys aren't my biological parents, you guys have been in it for more than half of my life, so you guys are pretty important. I'd like to thank you for being there and for loving and caring for me. Olivia, thank you for letting me hang out with you when I had no one. And then there's Jack. You guys mean a lot to me. I have 4 sets of grandparents, so I'd like to say I love you all and thank you for being there for me and caring for my parents so they can be in the place that they are today. Thank you.
Dear family, Mom, thank you for always baking and cooking with me. I love making all of those cookies with you. It's awesome. Every love I have for Disney came from you. I will cherish all of our trips to Disneyland and especially Disney World. You are amazing. Dad, thank you for always helping me with technical problems and videoing our great family memories. You have always pushed me to be better, and I have become a better person because of it. Thank you so much. You're the best. To both my parents, thank you so much for all the different choices and options you have presented me with in my life. And obviously, thanks for letting me wear all of those weird costumes at home and in public. To Connor and Zach, I know I've always been a little annoying at times, or we've argued about stuff. I think in the end we've always gotten along okay. I've always had a good time with you guys, whether it's playing video games, playing football, or going to the park, or just talking about Star Wars. I love you all so much.
Dear Dad, I want to thank you for helping me with my schoolwork and letting me play video games. Thank you for taking us places like Europe that we've never been to and teaching me things about the military. And I also want to thank you for encouraging me to never give up in life and you're always making me smile. Dear Mom, it's nice getting to spend time with you and knowing you. I love you when we joke around. And thanks for always taking care of me when I'm sick and supporting me coming to SAA. Dear Lomer, stepmom, it was nice getting to know you. You are an amazing person. You're always teaching me to never take shortcuts in anything I do. You always encourage me to never give up, and I love the food that you make. Dear Salve, brother, thanks for being the best brother. You're so funny, and I love it when we play rugby together. And I always win against you except for football. And dear Miriam, my sister, you are funny, and I love it when you make fun of our brother, and we are only ones who always getting in trouble. You're a good sister. Thank you, all of you, for being a great family.
Mom, thank you for giving me and/or making all the gifts for Valentine and Halloween and Christmas, and for also making crafts for all my teachers. Thank you for helping me with my homework and the year-long project. Thanks for getting me dressed for Picture Day and Spirit Week. And finally, thank you for throwing me awesome birthday parties like the racetrack and laser tag. Dad, thank you for driving me to school every day, for helping me pack my bags when I went to DC, and taking care of me, Philip, the chicken, our cat, and the house. Thanks for making me food from time to time, fixing my stuff, and finally, for taking me to the mountains. Christian, thank you for helping me with homework and school stuff. Thanks for playing with me and tolerating some of my dumb decisions. And finally, just thank you for being a great big brother. You all are a great family, and I love you.
Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for being the best parents ever. Thank you for laughing, crying, hanging out with me, and overall loving me, for the happy times and the fun times, and all the adventures that we've had together. Thank you for raising me spiritually in Christ and for supporting me through sports and academics and pushing me to reach my goals. And lastly, thank you for sending me to SAA, where I've made friends that I will never forget the good times with. And for my aunties, uncles, grandparents, and cousins, thank you for leading me and spiritually and encouraging me to keep moving forward. And lastly, for my brother, thank you for being there for me when I'm hurt and down. Though I might not show my appreciation for it, I'll always need it. And thank you for being annoying. Thank you to my whole family for supporting me through my entire life.
Dear Dad, thank you for pushing me in sports and motivating me to do my best even when I act like I don't care. It always helps when you show up to every one of my games and give me a halftime talk on what I should and should not be doing. One of my favorite times with you is when we are driving, listening to music, or talking about the most random stuff. Even though I think you can act like a kid sometimes, actually all the time, I'm glad I have you in my life. Will, thank you for being fun and loving adventures. I hate going with the flow and not being in control of things, but when we all go somewhere randomly, I have so much fun. Especially when we all go to the water and have seaweed fights and sand fights, and the kids always win, of course. And Mom, you are my favorite person on earth. You are so selfless when it comes to me and our family. I have the most fun with you whenever we laugh until our stomachs hurt and can't breathe about the dumbest things. Thank you for being my best friend and my twin and teaching me young to know my worth and stick up for myself. Thank you for letting me rant about anything and giving me great advice. And to my brothers, you guys can be a lot sometimes, but when we're all getting along, I have so much fun. Thank you for making me laugh because you guys are all so goofy. And my grandparents, thank you for driving me everywhere and showing up and supporting all my school events. Aunts, uncles, and all my other family, I love you and thank you for supporting me.
To my parents, who I'm forever grateful for the love and support that you've given me my entire life, for taking the time out of your day every morning and every evening to make the 15-minute drive to school every day. To Mom, the first word I would use to describe you as a parent is patient, always taking the time to help and explain how to do everyday tasks to me. The second would be humorous, that you talk to me like your daughter and your friend, whether it's during shopping trips or when I forget to do my chores, always talking to me with respect like a person. To my dad, thank you for supporting and providing for us. I really appreciate how hard you work for us to come to SAA. To my Vovo and Grandma, thank you for being gracious enough letting us stay in your home when you were too busy to drive us to school, and taking the time to make us home-cooked meals. I would also like to thank everyone for guiding and supporting me throughout middle school.
Dear family, I want to thank you all for supporting me through the ups and downs and to let you know that I all love you so much. Mom, you're one of the most important people in my life, not just because you're my mom and that you help me with homework and chores, but because you're my best friend. I can talk to you about anything and feel safe. I can also be myself around you. I know I can act all tough and stubborn, but with you, I can be my weird, goofy self. Dad, over the years, I know we've had our ups and downs, but I'll always know that you're my #1 fan. In everything I do, sports, music, and life, you're always there for me. One of my most vivid memories of us was when I was little and I couldn't fall asleep. You would always lay next to me until my eyes shut. Thank you for making me feel safe. Even though I can never repay you for all that you've done for me, know that I love you and I would never be the person that I am today without you. Lily, you're definitely something. Even though you're probably one of the most hyper people I've ever met, I still love you. I also love watching movies with you and you screaming whenever something you didn't expect happens. Without you, the house would always be quiet. Amy, even though you live over 2,000 miles away, it feels like you're home. Whenever Lily calls you, everyone wants to talk to you. Even though Lily never gives up the phone, know that we all want to talk to you because, you're super cool. Thank you for being the best older sister I could ever ask for, and I love you. Grandma Candy, thank you for always hanging out with me whenever we visit. I still remember all the times I woke up super early just to talk to you because I never thought we had enough time. Even though in the end we always had to go back to California, every single minute I spent with you was fun and memorable. Thank you for everything and I love you. Grandma Rhonda, over the years we have done all sorts of things together like shopping, early morning walks, and late night talks. I still remember when I was young and forced to take a nap. You would always lay next to me and tell me stories. To the end of every story we would always say I love you to the moon and back. So Grandma, to end my 8th grade story, I love you to the moon and back. Thank you again to my wonderful family who has always been there for me, and I wouldn't have been able to do this without you guys. I love you.
Dear Mom, Dad, and my sisters, I would like to personally say thank you. You have pushed me to this point in my life where I will experience many new things. Mom, you work really hard and also make time to go out as a family and enjoy ourselves. Dad, I would like to say how grateful I am that when you are out in the Bay Area working, you call and we still get to talk about the day when you are far away. Spending time with you keeps me going, like bowling or sharing our day together. Mercy, you are the best older sister I could have. You and I always talk with each other and romp together every day. Spending time with you is stellar. Lastly, Grace, you are a bright person. You have a lot to say, even though you are hard to listen sometimes. Overall, I am grateful for you guys supporting me and pushing me to this very moment. Thank you.
Dear Mom and Dad, thanks for doing so much for me and always putting me and Sienna first. You guys are always there to help me with homework and giving me great advice. Mom, our Target runs are super fun, even though I may not seem so excited at first, but thanks for hanging out with me overall. Dad, you always have the best jokes and make me and Sienna laugh all the time. I can always rely on you to put a smile on my face. I also want to thank Sienna, my sister, for hanging out with me and being my best friend. Also, thanks for helping me with shopping for clothes and picking out the cutest outfits. Even though you can be a bit of an odd person, I still think you're cool and I love you.
Dear Mom and Dad, take this as a thank you note for all the things you've done for me, those that I know and those that I don't. Mom, thank you for taking me to all my after-school activities, even if I really didn't want to go, because you knew it was good for me. Also, thank you for wanting to go do all the fun stuff all the time, such as hikes in Tahoe and great games in the car on long road trips. Dad, thank you for sharing all your hobbies with me, such as teaching me how to ride a motorcycle and how to become confident enough at skiing to crash slightly harder than normal. I thank you too for supporting me in everything that I do and for making sure that all my needs are met. Now for my siblings. I really wanted to take this time to make fun of you, but I do have a few nice things to say. Starting off with you, Cade, the best brother ever. Thank you for your witty jokes and always interesting things to talk about. Denali, my favorite sister. That's a joke. Thank you for always being happy and energetic. And last but not least, Ellie, thank you for, most of the time, having the patience to sit down and explain my math homework when the topics on Alex become too overwhelming. Once again, thank you, family, for simply being the best, and thank you for making sure that I received the best possible medical care when I needed it, and settling for nothing less.
Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for helping me get through all of my medical issues and for taking time away from your jobs when I was in the hospital. Thank you for taking Jeffrey and I on fun trips to places like Kauai, Monterey, and for taking us up to the cabin in Tahoe to go skiing, and for the times we would go on the boat together. Thank you for taking me to a school where I can make good friends and learn about God. Mom, you do so much for me already, and then do a little extra training to run the marathon to raise money for NF with so many other people. Dad, thank you for explaining math to me when I was confused. I am so thankful that you taught me how to ski and for pushing me to do harder things than I thought I could do. Jeffrey, though we may have gotten in fights, you are still such a great brother. My favorite times with you were when we would wake up in the morning and build Legos together. Thank you for being an awesome family.
Dear family, thank you for always being there for me and supporting me through tough times. I really enjoy being with each and one of you guys, and I appreciate your company. First, I would like to start with my little sister Mitchie. Even though you are really annoying, I still enjoy hanging out with you. I also enjoy playing Roblox and doing TikToks with you. Whenever you were bored, you would call me and make me laugh, talk about my friends, or tell me about your third grade drama. Shimano, thank you for being the best older brother. You were annoying sometimes, but you always have fun things to do. Sometimes you would let me play on your game, or we would go on bike rides around the block, or we would even play basketball. I beat you, obviously. Thank you for making me laugh and buying me stuff. Kelly, thank you for being the best big sister I can ever ask for. Whenever I needed something, you would always give it to me or try to provide it for me. Whenever I wanted to go to Tiana's house, you would take me or you would bring me to our house. You were also my TikTok partner because everyone else sucked at it. You always made me laugh. I love asking you if I could go wherever you go because I was bored. I love how you always had my back and you was always sticking up for me. I love you guys. Dad, thanks for being the best dad. Thank you for helping me with sports. Whenever I needed something, you would get it for me. Thank you for always making me laugh and taking me places when I was bored or letting me come to work with you when there was no school. Close family. Thank you for accepting me in your house, treating me like family. Thank you for buying me things I needed and taking me to places I've never been before. You know, the Only Meadows was one of my favorite places we went. And Mom, thank you for being the best mom I could ever ask for. Thank you for staying by my side for 14 years and never leaving me. Thank you for helping me whenever I needed something or help with help. Thank you for letting me go places whenever I asked. Thank you for all the fun times we had together and all the little secrets. I miss you and I can't wait to see you soon. I love you.
Dear Dad, thank you for all the times that you would take off of work so that you could hang out with me. I love how you always put your family above work. Thank you for teaching me how to play basketball and basically every sport that I play. Even though I complain a lot, know that I really appreciate all of the help and advice that you give me to make me a better player. Besides being my sports teacher, you were also my math teacher when I was homeschooled. I greatly disliked math when I was little, but you helped me understand it and get to the place I am now. Algebra 1. Dad, even though you make really bad dad jokes, you can be really funny. At the dinner table, when everyone's trying to eat, you'll make jokes, and I'll have to go to another room just so I can swallow my food without choking. Thank you for all you do for me. Dear Mom, thank you for being my teacher from kindergarten all the way to 4th grade. You would take time to plan really fun field trips for us, such as Apple Hill, the zoo, or a museum. You were always really patient with me when I would get frustrated or not understand something. Thank you for always being so patient and kind. Also, thank you for teaching me how to cook. Even though I'm not good at it yet, I still have time to improve, so I'll be able to survive college in 4 years. Mom, I've always loved hanging out with you, whether it be walking to the park, going shopping, or just hanging out at home. Not only do you drive me to school over 5 times a week, but if I have a last-minute project and if I need supplies, you'll take me to the store to get them. Mom, thank you for helping me discover Taylor Swift. Between me and my 2 brothers, she's the artist you'll hear every single day. Thank you for everything. Dear Brennan, thank you for being such a great brother and an awesome friend. Even though you like to tease and annoy me, I still love you. I also love how we're both Swifties, so there's not arguing over the music that we listen to. Thank you for always hanging out with me, even though I get you into trouble a lot. Thank you for being an amazing brother. Dear Caleb, you've always been such a sweet little brother. You volunteer to do my part of the chores when I'm stressed out and swamped with homework. Caleb, whenever I ask if you want to play basketball, your answer is yes. Even if it's raining outside, I'll still ask you if you want to play basketball, and the answer is still yes. I love the fact that you love the sport just as much as I do. Thank you for being an awesome brother.
For the 14 years I've been alive, my family has always loved and cared for me. Mom, you will always check in on me, whether it be for my school projects or just how I'm feeling. It shows that you have and will always care for me. Dad, you give me advice about anything, from basketball drills to driving rules. I enjoy and value your teachings, and hope to someday give the knowledge you've given me to my children. Emma and Silas, I hope to see you two mature and grow both socially and spiritually. I'm thankful that I get to be a role model for you two, and even though you can be obnoxious, I still love you guys. My grandparents have shown their love for me in many ways. My grandmother's with cooking and jokes, and my grandfather's with sports and the Bible. I'm grateful and thankful for everything you've taught and showed me. I'm grateful for all the memories of book parties, of the cooking, of my baptism, and of football. I'm sure this family will make many more memories together that will be just as sweet as the last.
Dear family, thank you for always being there when I needed you. You've helped me with homework and projects. You're all so fun. I especially like when we hang out at home, either swimming or worshiping or watching movies, playing video games, and eating. Mom, thank you for inventing grilled chocolate sandwiches and making them for me every week. Dad, thank you for taking us to Froyo every once in a while. Thank you for abusing points so we can go on family vacations and other places. Caitlin, thank you for making spaghetti every Friday and making the best crepes ever on Saturday. Anissa, thank you for singing your summer camp songs and always keeping me awake. Thank you for being a great family.
Mom, thank you for always being there for me and taking time out of your day to spend time with me. Charlie, thank you for taking us with you to your work and always getting soda and pizza for us and always playing with us. Dad, thank you for always checking up on me and calling me even though I'm not good at conversations. Joshua, thank you for being a great big brother, and I also want to thank you for giving me a great music taste. Nasha, even though you get on my nerves a lot, I still love you, and I like how when someone is sad, you always try to comfort them and give them a hug. Nathaniel, thank you for always being funny and making life entertaining and giving me good advice sometimes. Junie, thank you for letting me borrow your clothes and buying me stuff and also acting like a big sister to me. Thank you all for being there for me. I love you all.
Dear Mom and Dad, I am fortunate to have a family so involved in my life. I am thankful that you guys try to push me to achieve more. I have big dreams, and I'm lucky to have a family so supportive. Dear Mom, thank you. I know you tried hard to make our family better. You're always the one who helps me achieve my goals and pushes me to be the person I want to be. Dear Dad, I am lucky to have someone so smart and thoughtful as a father. You've made me the person I am today, and I appreciate how much time out of your life you take to make sure Val and I are okay. When you aren't working, you're with us. I appreciate how you're always involved in our interests. You're the coolest dad anyone could have. Thank you for being such an important person in my life. Dear Vala, you're the funniest and most clever person I have ever met, and definitely the coolest sister anyone could have. I love how you have so many interests and are always there for me. I love hanging around you, to the coolest sister ever. Even though you guys are all epic nerds, you are single-handedly the coolest people I could ever ask for.
Dear family, thank you for always pushing me to try new things and do my best. You care a lot about me and want me to succeed. You guys care a lot about my future, and I'm grateful. Mom, you're always thinking about my future. You make me do my best in everything and aren't afraid to point out ways I can improve. You go all out in everything, like when you made me and Eva each a princess dress for our birthday party when you were little. Thank you. Dad, you always push me to try new things and give me advice. You want me to pursue my interests and find new ones. You're the reason I started voice lessons and piano, and I've had a great time doing that. You encouraged me to be my own person, and I'm really thankful for that. Eva, thanks for always listening to me when I talk a lot. You share my interests, which is nice to have in a sibling. Thanks for not being one of those annoying siblings either. Helmany and Hajwadi, you've driven me to school for years and made great food, and I really hope you don't stop making that great food. Emo, thanks for being such a fun aunt. You always listen to me when I talk, and I appreciate that. You gave me a great cousin and I'm grateful for him too. Love you so much. Thanks.
Dear Mom and Dad, I thank you for being my parents and helping me go through life. Mom, thank you for pushing me to finish work, for getting me gifts for Christmas and airline flights to Florida, for comforting me when I had bad dreams. Dad, thanks for going with me to DC, for playing chess with me, and for baptizing me. My sister Kayla, I thank you for being funny, for playing with me, and for being crazy. My brother Ryan, thank you for being a good brother, for playing Minecraft with me, and for being a good friend. My whole family, bless you for taking care of me. Thank you.
Dear Mom, Dad, Mel, Jared, Hayden, Harlow, and Roan. Hayden and Harlow, it's hard not to be sarcastic, but I still want you to know that I'm glad you're a part of my life. You too, Roan. Jared and Mel, Dad too and Mom too. Thank you for always being willing to help me when I need it, and just in general being very caring. I'm lucky to have you in my life. Dad, thank you for playing any sport or doing any physical activity with me whenever I want to do it, and always asking if I'm hungry and then providing the food. Thanks for taking me on a bunch of trips. Even though I say I don't want to go, I really appreciate you taking me and spending time with me. Mom, you're always there for me, whether it's a sports game or music performances that I don't want to be at all. You're still there. Thanks for being tough on me when I need it. I'm a better person today because of it. You are always willing to help me with anything, even if we don't know what we are doing. Thanks for always being fun and wanting to do fun stuff with me. And finally, thank you for always showing that you care for me and having my back no matter what. Love you all.
To my dad, thanks for driving me everywhere and waking up early for special things like taking me skiing and to Rubik's Cube competitions and only complaining a little bit. Thank you for cooking the best food almost every day and even teaching me how to cook. Thank you for taking us on trips around the world. You've been the best father and mother I could ever ask for. Thanks, Andrew, for dealing with me for 14 years and always helping me with math even when you're busy. To my grandma, 非常感谢你教我国语，做最好吃的印尼菜，每个月飞上这里虽然不需要入住朋友的家。
Dear family, thank you for always being there for me. Mom, you are a great parent. You manage the family and get me and my brothers to 3 different schools every day. You have always supported me in my struggles in life. You're always looking out for my best interest. I love when we watch movies together and play Monopoly. That week-long Monopoly game was really fun. Grandma and Papa, I like that we live close enough to see each other on a decent basis. Grandma, thanks for picking me up from school every Friday and just talking and listening to music. You're always really positive and try to bring the best out of me. Even if I do something stupid, you try to cheer me up. Papa, thank you for taking me to In-N-Out and movies. You make the best eggs and grilled cheese. Whenever you're upset, you are always understanding and try to help us find solutions. Thank you all for being relaxed, chill, and a great family. Sincerely, Billy.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. If you don't know who I am Gabby Garcia, and I'm the 8th grade class treasurer. This year, our class office decided on trees as our class gift. Trees will be planted around the fence in the upper playground area to provide shade on those hot summer days. Currently, there's only one tree that everybody crowds under for shade, so that is one reason we are doing this. Another reason is we want to give back to elementary so that they can enjoy and benefit from these trees for years to come.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stefan Nedeljkovic, and I'm the 8th grade class vice president. We have chosen 2 speakers who mean a lot to our class. The first one is Mrs. J, who's our 5th grade teacher. We all loved how she would try to connect to us, her students, and all her crazy and funny stories, just overall the way she not only tried to be a teacher, but someone you can go to if you needed help. Even though the gap between our height is increasing, we still will always love you no matter what. Our other speaker is Mr. R, who's our teacher in 6th grade. Even though you only taught us for a few months, there were still many memorable moments, including all the fun and engaging science experiments, you getting rid of our math textbooks, which made everyone happy, and your amazing teaching skills and how you connect different things. We still appreciate it to this day and always will that you came out of retirement to teach us for a few months, which is something you didn't have to do. We appreciate both of you guys so much, and thank you for all that you did for us. Now join me as we welcome Mrs. J and Mr. R.
Can you hear me okay? You can, huh? The music was awesome. The music was awesome. Just the 2 of us. Nina, where are you? You know you and I would be singing in the gym if that was going on. Fly Me to the Moon. Scott Dexter, I know you know the words to that whole song. And I know you were humming it or singing it, but it was great. And the piano and the violin, you guys are very talented, very talented. Okay, I don't need this, I don't think. I saw Gabby. I can't even remember the names anymore. Anyway, she was on her tiptoes, and I thought, oh, that's just like me, you know? So, okay, so you have your aim and motto, and I thought it was going to be up here, but that's all right. I'm going to talk pretty fast because I know you're tired, and I know you're more tired out there. So, the motto. The motto is success is not final, failure is not fatal, it's courage to continue that counts. And you know, I thought I could talk about a lot of different people, Abraham Lincoln, all these, but you guys know all that stuff. So I'm going to talk to you about someone different. His name is Milton Snavely. Milton Snavely was born about 166 years ago. He was born in a poor farm. His mom's name was Fanny. His dad's name was Henry. Dad was a great dreamer, but never got anything done. He was just waiting for opportunities. But he didn't have that work ethics. It was just like, he was lazy. Mom, she was a daughter of a minister, so you know what that means. Okay? And she said, okay, you got to work hard. If you fail, you got to keep trying. You got to just do this and do that. Well, because the mom and dad were so different, they separated, and Milton ended up staying with mom. He went to school till he was about your age, and then he dropped out, because most kids did in those days. And he decided he needed to make money. Like most kids your age, he liked candy. So he thought, why not work in a candy place? So he found a guy who really knew what he was doing, and he said, can I work for you? And he said, yeah, sure. So he worked for him. And then after a while, he thought, why am I working for him when I could be my own boss? So at 17, he decides to borrow $150 from his aunt, and he opens his own business. Business number 1. He worked 5 years, and he knew how to work. He worked hard, but the business failed. So he decides, man, I gotta do something. So he goes out to Denver, He hears his dad lives out there, so he goes towards that way. He knows how to make candy, so he finds another candy maker, and he says, hey, I have 5 years experience of my own business, and I worked before with as an apprentice. Will you hire me? Guy goes, sure, okay. So Milton Snavely starts working for him. And he sees this ooey gooey sweet stuff. And he tastes this ooey gooey sweet stuff and he says, oh, this is good. It was caramel. And he learned how to make it with fresh milk. Once again, he worked for this guy and then he goes, I could be my own boss. So he goes to New York, sets up a business, caramel, works hard, fails. Strike two. So he goes, okay, I'll go to Chicago. So he goes to Chicago, sets up a caramel place, works hard, fails. Strike three. Now, even in baseball, you're out. Most of us would say, forget it, I think I better figure out something else. But not Milton Snavely. He says, okay, he's 26 years old, he's dirt poor, he failed 3 times. So what's he do? He goes back home to mom, like you guys will do. If ever you fail, you go back to mom and mom will be there, trust me. So he goes back to mom. And he goes, Mom, I failed 3 times. And she goes, okay. So what are you going to do? He goes, I'm going to try it again. She goes, good. So he's in Lancaster, and this is where he grew up, and opens up Lancaster Caramel Company. Works hard. Succeeds. People start saying, hey, this is good stuff. They start buying it, start paying money for it, and pretty soon, this guy is shipping his caramel throughout the country. He's making big bucks. So as his life goes on, he gets married and he goes to the World's Fair in Chicago. And he's walking around. He has money now. He's successful. Like your motto says. Where is that? Success is final. Failure was not fatal for him. It was courage to continue that counts. He's walking around the World Fair and he smells something. What is that smell? It's sweet. So he goes and he looks and he sees this man working hard, doing something, and he's just looking at it and, hey, that's chocolate. I thought chocolate only came from Switzerland. And he watched how this man did it, very tedious. And he finishes 1 candy. And he goes, if I could figure out how to mass produce that and mass distribute this, this is a winner. So he decides to sell his caramel business. He makes good money. And in fact, he sold it for $1 million. And then he works for 12 years figuring out a formula for a chocolate that could be mass produced and mass distributed. And he finally comes up with it. Now, during that time, your aim now will come into part. Be the change you wish to see in the world. During that time, he had a lot of workers working for him. And he noticed the workers were coming from far away. So he said, I'm going to build them houses. So he built his workers these homes. And they weren't just junky old homes. They had a front yard, they had a backyard. It was a regular house. Then he saw these kids. Now, he and his wife couldn't have kids. So he felt bad for these. They call them orphan kids, but they were socially orphaned. In other words, they were poor. I'm going to build them a school. So he builds them a school. Well, they need a church. So he builds this church. Well, they need a recreational park. So he builds these parks. And for those people who didn't live in this town where his factory was, he decided to make a trolley car to go and pick them up. I mean, this man was everything that everyone would want to be. He saw the change, and he did it to change. He did something to change. Well, as time goes on, World War II, depression hits, and he decides, well, I can't let my workers, the people in this community, fail, so be unemployed. So he puts a building boom on this little town that is named after him. Now that's a clue, because at the end I'm going to ask a question. Okay, so this town is named after him. And he had them build a office building, a hotel, other things just to keep them employed. World War II breaks out. He sends his now chocolate bars to the soldiers. He calls them tropical chocolates, okay, and he sends them over there. This man was as successful as can be. His wife dies suddenly, though, and he decided he doesn't need the money because he was a shy guy. They said he was very thrifty. He was modest. He didn't live in a great big house. And he decided to give all the money he had and all the money from his stocks that he owned to support the school. Now, today the school has 1,900 kids in it, boys and girls, K through 12. It is the richest private school around. It has a trust fund of $16 billion. Every year, $1.4 billion comes in. Matt, would that be a dream? Come on, start making candy. Now, what I want to do here is I went over your class aim. I showed you how he changed. He saw things that need to be changed. I went over your class motto, and I told you this man's name, Milton Snavely. Snavely. What a name, huh? Oh, if anybody's name is Snavely, it's a wonderful name. It's a strong name. Okay. But that was his first and middle name. Now, there is a town named after this person. This person made chocolate. By the way, every one of you have supported the school because every bit of chocolate that this person is under this person's name, a majority of the profit goes back to the school. So you have supported his school. Now, I'm going to pull a name out of here, and if you could tell me the last name, because you all know it, of this person, I have a surprise for you. I know Holly knows it. I know she knows it, but is she going to be picked? Jasmine, do you know who this person? Don't tell her. Jasmine, who was this person? No, I gave you Milton Snavely, the first and middle name. What's the last name? What does that say? What was it? Say it loud, please. Hershey. She said it was Hershey. She is correct. First person. So, Jasmine, I have over 10 pounds of Hershey chocolate for you. The top is all Reese's Pieces, and I hope you like chocolate, okay? I think it would be nice, I'm just saying this, to share. And which side do you walk down afterwards? This side? I'm not giving this to you now. Stephanie, I would never do that to you because I know she's tearing it and passing it around. So this is going to be yours to pick up. It's heavy. I'm glad to get that out of the house because I was so tempted. She would never know, or they would never know. And one time I actually took the tape off, and my husband caught me. He goes, "What are you doing?" "Nothing, just taping this really tight." So anyway, guys, it's a privilege to talk to you, but now I'm handing it over to Mr. R, okay, who's going to go over your memory verse or your class verse. All right, thank you.
Do I have a mic? Oh, I have a microphone, yes. Ooh. I'm glad to see all you guys sitting here. Raise your hand if you have not smiled yet. Some of you just did, thank you. Some of them look pretty serious, but they'll get over it in a little bit. If you can put up the scripture verse, Jeremiah 29:11, thank you. You guys chose a wonderful memory verse. And before I talk about it, I want to say congratulations to all of you sitting here. You're sitting in a wonderful position. You've accomplished something, and there's more ahead of you, but you guys have got, as a group, got a fantastic start. And I'd like to congratulate all the music again, too. It was really good. And Mrs. J already did that. And one comment, Mrs. J, I think you said you were going to talk 6 or 8 minutes. I talked fast. It was 6 and 8 minutes. Anyhow, your scripture verse says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord." God's got plans for you. The question is, are you going to participate? Are you going to get in there when you see, I think this is what God wants me to do. I think this is what the Lord wants me to do. Are you going to follow? That's what the scripture verse talks about. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Now, some of you know, I've told you before, those of you that were in 6th grade with me, I never planned on being a teacher. Okay? But 44 years later, when I retired, that's what I had done. Okay, never planned on it. Didn't go to college, never planned on being a teacher till just not long before I became a teacher. And I feel God called me. I felt that I followed plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope. Plans to give you a future. And if you follow it, Jeremiah wrote this 600 years before the time of Christ, and it still applies to you today. God has a plan for you. Are you going to participate? Or are you going to just sit back and let the world push you around and tell you where to go and what to do and how much you need to do this and how much you need to do that? Or are you going to say, Lord, between you and God, Lord, what do you want me to do? And you may not know now. I didn't know till I was 21, 22, whatever it was. I had no idea. My plans went this direction. God eventually led me this direction. That's the only reason I ever met you. If I hadn't followed God's plan, I wouldn't be in Northern California. I'd be in Southern California. Probably hating every minute of it, but being in Southern California. So there's a plan for you. I want to share a story with you. Imagine you're in 3rd grade. You're 9 years old. Okay? You've never gone to school. You live in a very poor section of India. A very poor section of India. And you're 9 years old, and what is your job? To go out every day and beg. You're a street beggar. Your parents have sold you to someone who traffics you as a street beggar. And every day you go out, you get up at 4 in the morning in your plastic tent with a mud floor, and you get on the local train to ride down to the big train to ride to the big city so you can beg all day long. You've never gone to school. You probably can't read and write a thing hardly speak of. You're extremely poor. You've got no hope and no future. Just the reverse of Jeremiah 29:11. And this girl that I'll tell you the story of very briefly, her name is Swapna. Today, 11 or 12 years later, she has got a future and a hope, but she didn't have it then. She was begging all day long, and she had gotten nothing. She had to get 250 rupees, which is about $4 or $5 our money. And she went all day long and begged and begged and begged and begged and got nothing. And finally, near the end of the day, she says, I'm in trouble. I'm going to go to a local church that's down over here a little bit, and I'm going to try and beg somebody, hopefully will help me out. And she prayed and said, God, please help me. She wasn't a Christian. She just prayed to God, however she thought of that. And she prayed, and after about an hour, a nice lady gave her the 250 rupees. And as she was getting ready to go back to the train to go back home, and by the way, if she didn't have 250 rupees at the end of the day, she was going to get a beating. It happened more than once. She's 9. No hope, no future. She heads back home, and somebody rescues her. Some Christians took her from the street begging, took her to the side and put her in essence, an orphanage and trained her up. And today, she's doing what you're doing right now. But she's a little older than you. She's 20, but she's graduating from high school this month. What's her goal? She has a goal. She has a hope. She has a future. It says, I want to be a social worker so I can fight and rescue every child beggar until India has no more children begging on the streets. Think about that. Compared to her at 9 years of age, where you are at 14, roughly 14 years of age, you're way ahead of her. You know how to read. You don't live in a plastic tent with a mud floor. You don't get beat if you don't do something. You don't have to go beg in the streets every day. God has already taken you and put you way up here. He's already prospered you through your family. Keep that in mind. That promise of Jeremiah from 2,600 years ago is still yours today. It's still a promise. Take these promises in the Scripture, they're real, and make it part of you. And read it like this. For I know the plans I have for Adam. I know the plans I have for Billy. I know the plans I had for Ivy. I know the plans I have for Ann, declares the Lord. Make it yours. Make it real, because it is. And if you just let the world push you around, you may never discover it. But you say, Lord, please lead me. Let me have the promise of Jeremiah 29:11, the one that you guys as a group have chosen. For some reason, somehow, you chose it out of thousands of verses, and you chose that one. Make it real. I leave it with you. It's your verse. Make it real.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes a sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I've learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like a ship blown from its mooring by the wind of the sea, like a sea dropped by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you,
because I
good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for.
But then I guess we know there's blame to share,
and none of it seems to matter anymore.
Like a comet pulls in orbit as it passes the
by
sun.
the wind of the
like
sea,
a stream that meets
like
a
a sea drop by a bird in the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better.
And because I knew you,
because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
We're supposed to talk after that? Ooh. Okay. Do we have the list of the people? Do you have the list? I'm just going to have them stand. All right, anyway, every year we like to acknowledge all the awesome students we have. Tonight we're celebrating them, but we are going to acknowledge a few students who've been here for a really long time. We're going to start tonight with students who came in first grade. So they've been here all the way from first grade through now. So if you came in first grade, please stand. There are three of them. We have Anne, Anne and Adam. Thank you. And then we have quite a few students also who came in kindergarten. So if you guys came in kindergarten, please stand. All right. Timmy, Garrett, and Stefan. And then we have a really special group that Miss Sherry's going to talk about.
Hello. This is such an amazing group of students. I didn't realize the talent. They're just amazing. But 11 of them started with me back in preschool, so I would love to acknowledge them. They can just each stand up when I call their name, and thank the families, too, for your dedication all these years to Adventist education. So if you just stand, Ivy Rasmussen, Holly Ferguson, Gabby Garcia, Brandon Kane, Braden Blood, Joshua Dean, Emma Jacobsons, Kian Moeller, Ava Tygeson, Vila Tygeson, and Caleb Yao.
Each year at 8th grade graduation, we have a number of individual awards to present. And this evening, Mrs. Rasmussen and I are going to be presenting 3 different awards. Our first award is the R.E. Jackson Memorial Scholarship. This scholarship has been established by the relatives of R.E. Jackson to benefit an 8th grade graduate of Sacramento Adventist Academy that wishes to continue their education at SAA. This award is based on a student's GPA and the value they place on Adventist Christian education, and in particular, our school. This scholarship will be applied as a $500 credit to the first month's tuition for 9th grade. The 2023 recipient is Timmy Piner. The next award this evening is our Academic Achievement Award. Sacramento Adventist Academy believes that our students honor God through their achievement. It is often easy to focus only on results or just the achievement, but today's recognition is only made possible through attendance, commitment, and production on the many days that have preceded it. This annual scholarship is awarded to an 8th grade graduate that has demonstrated outstanding academic achievement in all subjects during their 8th grade year. This scholarship is equal to the first month's tuition for 9th grade. The 2023 recipient is Brandon Kane. Our third and final scholarship is the Kindness Scholarship. Most Christians are familiar with the fruits of the Spirit, and they can recite the first few: love, joy, peace. But after that, the list often becomes hazy. The spiritual fruit of kindness may be appreciated, but it rarely receives the emphasis it deserves. Sacramento Adventist Academy values the fruits of the Spirit that God develops in His maturing children. For this reason, the following 8th grade graduate is acknowledged for demonstrating consistent kindness to fellow students as well as those older and younger. This scholarship, too, is equal to the first month's tuition for 9th grade. The 2023 recipient is Kaylana Rivas. Graduates, congratulations.
Good evening. We've reached the moment you've all been waiting for. Before Principal Jacobsons presents the diplomas, I'm proud to say that each graduate sitting here today has fulfilled the requirements set forth by the State of California, the Pacific Union Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, and Sacramento Adventist Academy in order to receive their 8th grade diplomas on this day, May 31, 2023. You are welcome to come forward to take photos of your graduate as their name is called. Will the first row please stand to receive your diplomas? Ivy Ann Rasmussen. Stefan Sasha Andelkovic. Holly Marie Ferguson. Gabriela Isabel Garcia. Brandon Parker Kane. Layla Benice Abad Ribat. Will the second row please stand to receive your diplomas? Roan Michael Allison. Braden Arthur Blood. Ratu Ilasoni Tui Savu Savu Bonavedongo. Joshua Presley Dean. Adam Joseph Dees. Kyla Madison Friedrich. Jasmine Alexis Gwendolyn Groeschel. Emma Clocille Jacobsons. Alberto Joseph Maldonado. Kayla Naomi Miska. Kian Michael Moeller. Will the third row please stand to receive your diplomas? Timothy Lee Piner. Marcia Prevalon. Kaylana Brooke Rivas. Garrett Evan Ebenezer Samuel. Fate Franz Situmarang. Anne Ruth Mael Sophie Stenville. Evangelina Ami Tygeson. Viola May Tygeson. Micah Peter Weigley. Jackson Robert Wing. Caleb Edward Yao. Bill Curtis Young III. I am proud to present to you the 8th grade graduating class of 2023.
It has been a pleasure and an honor teaching these students, so thank you for sharing this with us. I speak for all of their middle school, elementary teachers, and even their future teachers. We love them so much. I will miss them. High school teachers are looking forward to them. Thank you for sharing them with us. After this service, we have a cookie and juice reception. The cookies are outside. Enjoy them in the lobby, but we do ask that you don't bring food or beverage inside the church sanctuary. Thank you.
Please bow your heads for prayer with me. Heavenly Father, you are a good and gracious God, and we honor you, and we praise you for the gifts and talents of these young people. You have brought them to this point. You have brought us as parents to this point, and we give you all the glory. And now, Lord, with our pride and joy before us, we give them to you as they head out into high school. Bless them. Bless this community that surrounds them so that we may serve you until you're coming. And I pray all of this in your name. Amen. Are you ready? Are you ready for high school? That is a good response. You ready to walk? All right. We're now presenting not the class of 2023, but the high school class of 2027.